Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tomisi Onekbede, and again I want to say thank you to everyone who has been watching, commenting, sharing, and of course subscribing. Thank you so much. I said last time that if you can subscribe 10 times, please do. Yes, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. I basically want to talk about something that is a concern for me. It's one of the things that I am passionate about, and it's basically be about the boy child. I'm not an advocate though, and I don't have an NGO that does anything about the boy child. But in the last few years, there's been many organizations rising up to shed light on the gray areas in the boy child's life. Our society in the past years, have not taking care of that aspect very much. Our child raising in Nigeria, Africa basically, has been double standard in many ways. I think in the world over too, because there is the standard for the girl, there is the standard for the boys, but definitely organizations are rising up to education, shedding light on these areas, letting parents know that your boy child needs as much protection as the girl child, which is very, very good. One of my very good friends is doing it. Her name is Eloviano, and she has Elovia Initiative, and she's been doing a great job, going around to schools and many opportunities that she has to speak to boys on values, on life, how to behave, how to be a responsible citizen of Nigeria, basically. But usually I have just had this passion in my heart that the boy child is a very, very important part of the society, and they grow into becoming who they are because of the experiences they've had in the family. First, my concern is for the family, and basically over the years, we've had crazy family settings. Some parents give birth to the child they can't take care of. Some give birth to the child they can take care of, but they don't have the time, to be there for them. I have seen many boys, grown up to be about my age and over, who are actually coming out now to say that, they were abused, not by a stranger, but by their own family, the house help, their parents, employed to take care of them when they're not around, their aunts, their, funny things that has happened, and somehow these things have formed their mentality about sexual life and stuff. Some of them are exposed to peer pressure very early. There's no parental guidance. Our parents are too busy or just not interested in the boy child. They feel like, you figure yourself out, you're a boy. Or boys don't cry. They shut up all their emotions and they go express it with violence or, react. In fact, the number of people boys are usually, or men generally, boys grow up to be men, and they are the ones who they have the higher rate of suicide amongst all suicide victims across the world. These things stem from childhood experiences. So this vlog today is going to just be talking about families getting involved, parents getting involved, paying attention to their boy child. Let's stop this double standard child raising. If you know that the kind of protection you would create for your girl child, make sure you do the same for your boy child. Don't let your boy child feel like, I have to protect myself. Let them know that you're protecting them. Let them know that you're there for them. Speak to them. Basically, that there are people, I understand that there are people where the family has been somehow maybe single parenting. The mother probably has a deadbeat guy and she was just pregnant. But the truth is, there is no excuse really, because the child didn't ask to be brought into this life. So the best you can do is look for father figures. Everybody, you cannot just be rolling with crazy people all your life. If you have been old enough to bring somebody into this world, the best thing you can do to help the society is to raise that child in a good way. Let's say not everybody is a Christian. I would have said, train up a child in the way it should go. But of course, there are people who are not Christians and they raise good children. And it boils down to values. What values do you have yourself, to pass down to your child? And these things they all really start from. I have had the opportunity of being in a parenting class, and what we learned was that between the from baby to 7 years is the forming age. Once they outgrow that age and you have let a lot of things go, you are going to have to deal with a lot after that age. Forming a child doesn't start from 10 years old. It doesn't start from then. It starts from very, very little, and you won't have so much work to do if you have done your job from the foundation, because at that point you can still mold them, you can still talk to them, you can still instruct them, you can still discipline them. And of course, in the discipline aspect, Africa has been known to be abusive, let me just say it that way. You know, we beat up our children in a very funny way. Pardon me. You know, they basically just beat us. I know the kind of beating that I got, you know, growing up, things that ordinary conversation would have sorted out. It's beating upon beating. But you know, still thank God my own growing up didn't go south, you know. But for some children, that beating gets them into becoming very stubborn. They become very rebellious, and it's more like it's just beating. After beating, what happens? You know. So we have to find other ways. We have to learn other ways to instill discipline apart from beating and abusing our children. And our generation needs really to do better. I was having a conversation with a couple of friends of mine some years back, and this lady just got married. The guy, you know, she has to rack her brain every single time about what the guy will eat. It's okay if your guy knows how to or only eats fresh food, but these things stem from the guy's father. The mother usually say, oh, the father doesn't eat, you know, anything other than, you know, fresh, and every day the mother cooks and cooks, and then she now scattered everything by raising the boy child the same way. So the guy does not eat anything that is not fresh, so she has to rack her brain every day. And I was talking to someone, I said it's just basically our parents, especially mothers, and the way they have this connection to their boy child, like they are like gods, they can't be touched. So they raise their child with the things they are complaining about their husband, and then when the wives come, they have to carry on the same complaint. It doesn't make sense. If your husband was a cheat or is a cheat, and when you are raising your boy, you allow him to bring different girls into the home, you are raising the same person like your husband. Of course, he's learning by observation, which is very, very common. You know, basically I've learned that no child learns by instruction alone. They watch you, see what you do, and you know. But then as a parent, you now allow the child, you know, you tell the girls, no, you cannot bring a boy home. And then when the boy is growing, he brings one today, he brings another tomorrow, and you let them into their rooms. So there is double standard, and then there's continuity of character, or of I don't know what to call it, or vices, because that's not values. So it's important that the mistakes that our parents have made, this generation of parents, we have to look at it, we have to analyze it. What didn't I like about my dad? How do I change it? What didn't I like about my mom? How do I change it? How do I not carry it on? And then everybody also has a responsibility to themselves. You're a boy child. Look at the society, look at the good people. I know some people who are like, I came from very, very funny family backgrounds. My parents were not together, and they make a decision that I want to have a good home. So they make sure that, oh, they were calm in choosing a spouse. They make sure the person had values, and they are making a difference, you know, in their choice of marriage. So if you have had it rough, it doesn't mean that you cannot change the story. It doesn't have to continue your life like that. If you are serious about it and you trust God to help you, you can change those funny patterns, you know, that you have had in your family. I would also say that government should look into rehabilitation of these boys. In Africa, Nigeria especially, we have seen over the years that these are the people they use for election malpractices and stuff like that. These 4 years they will come. After that time, you won't see them again. You know, they just basically use these guys for their selfish reasons, their selfish ambitions. But hey, it's true that right now they are turning on the public, they are turning on the citizens of Nigeria, they are turning on basic everyday people. But the time will come that they will turn on politicians, they will turn on the government. So it's important for the government to look at rehabilitating these boys. Let's create homes, let's create, places where they can learn, you know, when a girl child even has the same rough background, before you know it, they are already getting industrious most of the time. They are getting industrious, they are looking for what to do, blah, blah, blah. Very few cases you have females, you know, in crime issues. They are not so much. The girl child is always, you know, they are quick to find something to do. Unlike the boy child, they'll just loiter around about the street and everything. So the government should look at doing these things, quickly train them in something, use them for good purposes, not just for your electoral ambitions and your everything. We know what we're talking about in Nigeria. Organizations should look at sensitizing, talking to these people. If you have access to them, talk to them. Big shout out to Pastor Tony Rappo. He's been doing an amazing job. And all these people that are on the streets, he's been taking as much as is within his powers, taking them off the street, introducing Jesus to them, and of course creating an enabling environment for them to learn good values, to learn about God, and it's just an agent of change in that area. Then for individuals, as much as it lies within your power, you see a boy on the streets who is just wandering, he's not going to school, just take a time to ask questions. You may be able to just sponsor them in a public school around. Some of them want to really go to school. Some of them want to find something to do. You can just foster a child. Let's not leave everything to Kusha Company, because we know we are not used to the fostering of child here. We're not used to the adoption and stuff like that. But, the best we can do is, you see a child around you that is, wandering away and wasting away. Just invest in that. It's not just, life is not just about yourself. It's not just about us, looking fine. We have a car, we have our children. When we train our children to be okay, the boys on the streets would not smile. When they grow up, they will disturb them. I saw a quote like that somewhere. I think it was Awolowo or something. So basically, let's just look into this thing. Together we form the society. Together we raise the children. Way back they say the whole society don't talk. I don't know how to put that Yoruba. But of course, let's just look at these things and we will all be better for it. I hope that you are inspired by my video. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that a change really comes into our system in the name of Jesus. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.